So this video is about the vitamins and supplements I take and which foods I replace them with. Probably don't need to say that, it's probably in the title. Collagen. This one I do not really replace with any foods. Collagen protein has a different ratio of amino acids than muscle protein. And we typically eat muscle protein when we eat like a chicken breast or a steak. Very rarely are we eating enough collagenous structures to get enough of the proper ratio of amino acids found in collagenous structures. Collagen powder is ground up collagenous structures so you get exactly the correct ratio that you need to rebuild collagenous structures, like your tendons, your ligaments, your cartilage. But don't forget, you need some vitamin C in order for the process of building collagenous structures to work. Which brings me to vitamin C. It is a great antioxidant on its own and supports the function of other antioxidants in the body. Especially nowadays, people probably have a lot of free radical oxygen species in their body doing damage. So it's a good idea to take antioxidants like vitamin C. It is a good water-soluble antioxidant, very well tolerated. Now, I've noticed some women are not so tolerant of it. Interesting. Maybe women just don't have a tolerant attitude. But no, I've seen some women get skin rashes from excessive vitamin C. I can take 5 grams a day. I don't know, I haven't tried to take 10 grams a day. But I have seen women who take 1 gram a day get redness and rash on their skin. So if you're a woman, take less. You actually don't need a ton of vitamin C. Like for antioxidant properties, yeah, a ton can be helpful, especially at certain times, like when you're sick. It has been shown that something like 5 grams is beneficial in cases of the common cold. You know, that one that's been going around for a few years now. However, you need very little to catalyze the process of collagen formation. Perhaps even 50 milligrams would be enough. I would still take more, but obviously if you're getting rashes, don't take that much. I take, on average, 1 gram per day. I don't take this one often just because I take so many pills already, but glucosamine, chondroitin combination pill. Glucosamine is important for cartilage formation, chondroitin for bones and stuff. Yeah, I don't take this one that often, but if you get enough, especially the glucosamine, it is helpful because, I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on glucosamine content in food, but it's likely that you're not getting enough. Creatine. Creatine is very important for supporting the formation of ATP. You have ATP, it gets used to refresh it, creatine should transfer a phosphate to it. That's why it's called creatine monophosphate. Wow, how interesting. It also can draw water into muscle cells, and not only your muscles use ATP, so you're actually helping your whole body to have better energy usage. And you're like keeping your gas tank full. I don't know how you want to imagine it, but yeah, if you have too little creatine, your ATP cannot be replenished at the rate which is ideal. Oh. And creatine is found in meat and stuff, but I still prefer to supplement it. I do not ever just eat a piece of steak or a fish and go, oh, no, I'm not going to take creatine if I was otherwise going to take it. No, I will still take the creatine. Vitamin K2. Very important for healthy clotting of blood and calcium taken out of blood. I don't know so much about the eye benefits. I've heard about eye benefits. I don't take it for that reason. I take it because I do not want excessive calcium going into tissues. Because yeah, it's not just blood, it helps the calcium not to be deposited into tissues. Vitamin K2, there's a lot of it in eggs, so if you eat some eggs, you don't need to take a vitamin K2 pill. What a coincidence, now we've got choline, which is also found in eggs, so if you eat eggs, you also do not need to take choline. These pills are 420 milligrams per one pill, and you probably get that from 3 to 5 eggs depending on the size. So let's say 4 eggs, and you got just as much choline as one of these pills. Choline is, phosphatidylcholine in particular is important for healthy cellular membranes, so just maintaining overall health of your cells. But the reason why I take it, well actually there's 2 reasons, but the first reason why I started taking it when I was much younger, and why a lot of people take it, is because choline is a neurotransmitter, very important for memory, and just nerve function in general. It's going to help your muscles fire better in the gym as well. But choline deficiency is also the cause of, well, one cause of fatty liver disease. So if you are choline deficient, you will very, very likely develop a fatty liver. So especially if you're drinking a decent amount of alcohol, you should make sure you get your choline. Once again, you get it from eggs. So that's 2 supplements already, choline and vitamin K2, that you really don't need to take if you just eat eggs. Potassium iodide. Now, these pills are 30 milligrams each. That's quite a lot more than you need to just take every day. I got them for dual purpose of in case there is radioactive iodine, I can prevent myself from absorbing it. Sadly, if there's a nuclear weapon that goes off, there's also going to be radioactive cesium and strontium, and you can't block that with the iodine. Iodine is important for proper thyroid function, and especially if you live in a place like Belarus where you're not eating a lot of seafood, iodine is a very good idea. I think studies have shown that people in Belarus tend to be deficient in iodine. I eat seafood, but I still like to take iodine, especially considering that Chernobyl is not that far away, and I think there is still likely some the radioactive iodine is mostly all degraded, but, who knows what could possibly happen. It's good just to have iodine, although the half-life of the radioactive iodine should all be gone by now. Yeah, enough said about that. You can get it from seafood naturally, so eat a lot of seafood, and you maybe don't need to take iodine. Oh, your thyroid is for your metabolic health, but it's not just, when people hear metabolic, they think like fat loss, fat gain. That's not all there is. Your metabolism is responsible for all the processes of your body, even just for healthy neuronal development. So if you are a developing baby or kid and you do not have enough iodine, you're going to come out retarded. Zinc. It is a mineral, like iodine is. You get some of it in a lot of different foods, but you don't get a lot of it in a lot of different foods. I think it's mussels or oysters that have a lot of zinc. I can't remember exactly. I don't eat those things often. You show me 3 of them. I know that the white ones are clams and the black ones are mussels. I don't know what oysters look like. I eat them sometimes at Italian restaurants. I don't buy them from the grocery store. I just take zinc pills. Zinc is very important for lots of enzymes in your body. It's also important for muscle protein synthesis, because that's an enzymatic process. It's very important for testosterone, and probably an insignificant, maybe not insignificant, but not very significant thing is that it is also useful for regulating and controlling, like making sure certain neuronal excitation is not too high. So I take my zinc and my magnesium, which is the next one, at nighttime before bed, because it does have mild NMDA receptor antagonist properties. But the main reason I take it is to support healthy testosterone levels, healthy muscle synthesis. And here comes magnesium, which reminds me that, well, first I'll tell you why I take magnesium. Magnesium is also important for lots of enzymes in the body, and it's also an NMDA receptor antagonist, controlling extra neuronal excitation, keeping it at a healthy, slightly lower state, just a more controlled state. But I also take it for testicular function, to produce good levels of testosterone, to prevent muscle cramps, because I'm very prone to muscle cramps, perhaps because I'm very prone to having low magnesium. And it seems that people that do a lot of muscular activity use their magnesium faster than other people. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly why that is. I could come up with some theories, but I'm not going to bother with that. It does seem to be used faster in people that are very active with large muscle mass. I just said I'm not going to say any theories, so I'll stop there. So yes, I take this at night before bed with my zinc because it is going to calm down the brain a little bit. On top of the healthy testicles and lack of muscle spasms, it's also good for, it seems to be that it prevents some calcium deposit in the blood vessels. So that makes two supplements that are good for calcium deposit in like blood vessels and tissues, magnesium and vitamin K2. And being a man with a familial history of people getting heart disease, I think it's a good idea to do everything I can not to get heart disease. Oh, and I forgot. Which food can you eat instead of taking magnesium pills? Let's see if I have any more of it. Grechka. In English, buckwheat. Grechnevaya. Krupa grechnevaya. But everyone here just calls it grechka. So these pills, one pill has like 125 milligrams. I should probably take more than two, but I typically take two because I take so many pills, I only want to take two. Well, a 100-gram serving of grechka will get you probably at least the equivalent of two of these pills. You can find different values everywhere for how much magnesium there is. No, obviously, no two grechka particles are the same, but it seems to have 250 to 350 milligrams per 100 grams of dried grechka. Vitamin D. It does not grow anything that starts with a D. Sorry, can't be fully mature always. This is 5,000 IUs. So, studies have shown that probably like 10,000 IUs per day is a good amount for people. Well, first let's say why vitamin D. Well, why is because most people wear a lot of clothes nowadays, and a lot of people don't live where there's strong, constant sun throughout the year. And even if they do, they wear a lot of clothes for some reason. I don't know, people just love wearing clothes. I don't. I go without my shirt all the time. I go to the beach and I wear a Speedo. If I'm at home in my backyard in California, I don't wear any clothes unless my sister or my mom's at home. Then, I probably will. But yeah, people are mental about wearing clothing. It's not healthy. Our bodies are meant to have lots of sunlight. So because we don't get that, vitamin D is a very good idea. It's good for your bones, but it's also good for, I don't know why my brain's having like a mental blank about vitamin D right now. Your immune system. So a big function of vitamin D is to transport calcium into tissues, into the bones. But it's also been shown to be very beneficial for the immune system. And in my experience, now maybe my body got used to it, my body's also always changing, your body's always changing, everybody's body's always changing. But I remember when I first started taking vitamin D, I had a much improved workout recovery. Crazy good. Sadly, my workout recovery went back to normal, so who knows, maybe it was just temporarily elevated because it was getting lots of vitamin D that it wasn't used to getting. I don't know. I think it was just how my body was at the time. It just happened to benefit from lots of vitamin D. I'm in California. Well, I grew up in California. I go outside without a shirt a lot. But who knows? Maybe I was still deficient in vitamin D. So yeah, good for immune system, good for healthy bones, might be good for muscle recovery. I've been lazy lately, but in general I take at least 10,000 IUs per day, if not 15, 20, 30, 40,000 IUs per day. Last year I had a bottle that looked just like this, except it was 2,000 IUs. And I forgot that I bought a bunch of 5,000 IU bottles to bring with me here at Belarus, because why would I take more space for no reason? May as well get bottles that are the same size but have 2.5 times more. So I didn't look at the bottle before I started taking it, and whereas I was taking like 15,000 IUs with the 2,000 pills, so I guess I was taking 14 to 16,000 IUs, I started taking the same amount of the 5,000 IU pills. Now some people are like, oh, vitamin D, you're going to overdose on it. No, you're probably not. I'm not the only person I know that well, I did it on accident where I was taking, so if I was taking, let's say 8 times 5, that's 40,000 IUs. Yeah, I was taking like 40,000 IUs a day, maybe 35,000 some days. I did that for at least 6 months. Blood work, all good. No elevated calcium in my blood. Now maybe it was all in my tissues, who knows. But no noticeable ill effects. I know other people that take a lot of vitamin D, they do it only when they're sick though. No noticeable ill effects, only benefits. So yeah, you can go outside naked a lot in the sun if you do not want to take vitamin D. I also take NMN for multiple reasons. One is that although time will tell how effective it is for this, research done, and someone who's made it very popular, his name is David Sinclair, has shown that NMN is a molecule that powers the function of enzymes called sirtuins that repair DNA damage. That's pretty important because DNA damage not only leads to cancer, but it also leads to early cell death, which means you don't live as long, and if you do live longer, you might get cancer. So yeah, I want to live long, not have cancer, and NMN is also the molecule that powers the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase, and I can't remember if it also powers aldehyde dehydrogenase. I cannot remember for sure. You can't remember everything in the world. But when I did remember, I decided to take this when I drink alcohol. Well, not necessarily when I drink alcohol, because I want the alcohol to be active longer, but when I'm done drinking alcohol, because I want it to be able to be cleared out of me more effectively. And I'm pretty sure it powers aldehyde dehydrogenase, because I would not be taking it if it only powered alcohol dehydrogenase, because then you would get a buildup of aldehyde, acetaldehyde, and you would feel like shit. So you actually would, if you could choose, you only want to power aldehyde dehydrogenase. That way you have lots of alcohol, but as soon as it turns into an aldehyde, which is what makes you feel like garbage and it's very toxic, then you get rid of it immediately. So that's another reason I take NMN, but the main reason is I want to live a long time and be cancer-free. I don't know which foods you're going to get this from. I don't think it's found that much in foods, but Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. So we've got Mr. Multivitamin. That is, as I've always said, just a safety net. In case my diet does not supply me with enough of a particular vitamin, I've got this safety net, which it's always going to be there. I've got a big variety of vitamins and minerals, and my diet can be deficient, but this will be my safety net. B vitamins, you're probably going to get enough if you eat eggs. Eggs have a lot of different B vitamins, but yeah, alcohol blocks the absorption of vitamin B1 and folic acid. It might also block the absorption of other B vitamins, but I think those are the ones that have been shown to be the most deficient in people that drink alcohol, which leads to neuropathy. It's one reason why alcohol can cause peripheral neuropathy. I mean, it also causes central neuropathy. There's multiple mechanisms by which alcohol can cause neuropathy, but one of them is the lack of B vitamins. Now, while I just said vitamin B1 and folic acid are like the main ones, I think it's really been shown and seems to be that all the B vitamins work together for healthy nerves. So you may as well just get all of them instead of just taking one. And that is why I got vitamin V complex rather than just taking folic acid and vitamin B1. Yeah, eggs have a lot of B vitamins, but this has more B vitamins, and it's a lot easier to take this right before you drink than to take eggs. But ideally, you take this in the morning if you're going to drink at night, because remember, alcohol blocks absorption of B vitamins. And I don't know if it also blocks them being used, but if alcohol blocks the absorption, it's best not to take this at the same time as alcohol. It's best to take it as far away as possible. You do not want to take too much B vitamins, though, because vitamin B... Hold on. I can't remember everything in the world. I think it's vitamin B6. I'm pretty sure. It's vitamin B6 that, when taken in very large amounts, also causes nerve damage for your sensory nerves. I don't want that, so that's why I don't like to take way too much vitamin B6 way too often. So I've got the liquid form of this in the refrigerator turmeric, but it is very good systemic anti-inflammatory. Even if you have tendinitis, you'll feel your tendinitis get better. It's good just to lower whole body inflammation, especially considering that it does seem like most people nowadays have too much systemic inflammation. You're not going to get that from your food. Some people are like, oh, well, I'll just add some pure turmeric powder to my whatever the hell I'm cooking. Number one, it tastes like dirt. It tastes worse than dirt. I think taking some dirt from outside and putting it in your food is going to taste better. Number two, you're not getting that much curcuminoids. Taking extract in the pill form or the liquid form, it's not only going to taste a lot better, but you're going to get a lot more of the anti-inflammatory curcuminoids. I'm not including some things I take, but I'll include ashwagandha since I do take it sometimes, and that is a GABAergic. Now, it probably has other properties. However, I take it as a GABAergic to promote healthy sleep at night. Now, as I've mentioned in my sleep medication video, increasing GABA. Now, past a certain point. Because, until a certain point, you're just within normal, healthy, well-functioning ranges for your brain. But after you get past a certain point, it is going to diminish brain activity and make your REM sleep less useful. But for me, if I'm a bit stressed or something, and I think I'm not going to get good sleep because I'm stressed, well, it's good if you just have complete body self-control, but sometimes I take ashwagandha to calm me down a little bit, increase my GABA, improve my sleep likelihood, and also increasing GABA decreases cortisol, and a lot of people nowadays have been shown to have increased cortisol levels from constant stress because we have not evolved to be in a constant state of stress. It's like a lion chases you for a few minutes and, and you get away, and now you're not stressed. People nowadays, like I am very good at not being stressed all the time, but a lot of people are stressed all the time. Something like ashwagandha is probably beneficial to keep your cortisol in check so that you don't just destroy the functions of your body. Because cortisol redirects the functions of your body to immediate short-term survival, sacrificing your long-term health. Good idea to keep cortisol in check. And it's good for muscle tissue because cortisol, immediate short-term survival, leads to the breakdown of muscle tissue. N-acetylcysteine. Now, I know there was a lot of hype with this for the common cold that's been going around for a few years. You do get cysteine through protein powder, through food, but I figured that acetyl group is going to change the polarity of it and make it absorb better. And it wasn't that expensive, so I got N-acetylcysteine to power glutathione production. And yeah, good antioxidant. And if you have more glutathione, like all antioxidants, they work together. Because if you're deficient in one, then other ones have to pick up the slack. Now, I'm not saying every antioxidant can pick up the slack for every other antioxidant, but they do. Some of them pick up the slacks for certain other ones of them. So you want to make sure they're all at good levels. So I take that sometimes to keep my glutathione levels good. I actually have pure cysteine powder and some glass vials and some micron filters, so I'm going to make injectable cysteine that I can inject, but I've been lazy, plus I don't feel like injecting it right now. But if I get sick, I will be just injecting cysteine. I'll probably take N-acetylcysteine and inject cysteine, because injecting it, you just got all of it. N-acetylcysteine, great, better absorption than normal cysteine, but injectable cysteine, even better absorption than N-acetylcysteine. Once again, you get a lot of cysteine from protein powder and protein foods, but N-acetylcysteine is going to absorb better. I think we are done. And I will add in the one crazy supplement that I have not taken very much, especially because I've been not eating on point, and also I'm not trying to bulk right now. Well, you already know it's something more hardcore because it comes in a vial of liquid. Insulin. What? Insulin? I think it'll be okay outside of the refrigerator for a couple minutes. Yes, I am not diabetic, but I do take insulin sometimes. Why is that? Because the beta cells in your pancreas do not have infinite ability to produce insulin. And guess what? If you eat a lot of sugar, or you just eat a lot in general, and your beta cells have to work to make a lot of insulin, they might die by the time you're in your 60s or 70s or 80s. Who knows exactly when they'll die? But they do not have an infinite lifespan. They do very much have the ability to die while you're still alive, which means you would become a diabetic in your later years. Which means if you don't take insulin then, when you're a diabetic, you will die. So I would rather take some insulin when I don't need to take it, like my life doesn't depend on it, so that later on my life will not depend on it. I hope that makes sense. If your beta cells burn out from too much work when you're younger, and they die when you're in your later years, you will have to take insulin or else you will die. So by taking insulin, you take the burden off of your beta cells, and they live longer. Also, really high blood sugar is not healthy, so if you are choosing to bulk up and you're eating a lot of foods that turn into sugars, you're eating carbohydrates, turn into sugar, a lot of food in general, it's good to get that into you rather than floating around your bloodstream. So I hope you liked that video. Turned out to be a 30-minute long video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It costs you nothing. It takes a split second. And I'm going to start mentioning this even though it might sound arrogant, narcissistic, whatever. But the main thing that interests me in life is medical advancement. And if I have more money, I'm able to do more research, able to come to develop things that will help a lot of people. So you can know that by clicking subscribe, so long as my YouTube doesn't get deleted right now or I die or something, that if it ends up helping me to make more money, you will be helping a lot of people. Because my research, who knows, may come up with amazing cancer treatment. It may come up with great life extension stuff. Now, I'm sure that either of those could cause big problems for a society. Very powerful entities don't necessarily want those things. But the bottom line is I will do more medical research with more money that I have. If I don't have any money, I can't do any medical research. If I have more money, I can do more medical research. More medical research, more people benefit. So please subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff.